Hello everybody, today I'm going to be doing some replay analysis of one of my own games. An important part of improving as a player comes from self-criticism, and one must learn that they are no DotA god. In any game, there are things you could have done to be a bit better. In this game I came out of it thinking I had done rather well. It's been a few days now, and I returned to this game with a clear mind. So let's get to it.
Prepare for battle.
As you can see here, I have chosen the hero Clockwerk, one of my personal favourites. I am going to be assuming the role of a solo offlaner in this game, and judging from the enemy team's composition, I've decided to take a lot of HP regen and a stout shield in order to survive. This is because chances are I'll be facing up against the Venomancer, who provides a lot of harassment in lane, and either one of the Tiny or the Phantom Lancer in their bottom lane, as they are both quite decent carries and require a lot of farm. As you can see here, I've decided to leave the base immediately and make a run down towards my lane. I've decided not to stay at my base and block any creeps. This is because I want to get down the ward in my inventory in order to keep me safe in the lane, and also because I want to potentially compete for the bottom bounty rune. My team has assumed a position of guaranteeing the top bounty rune by quite obviously swarming over it, and our Void has chosen to stay in base to block its creep wave. As you can see here, I got down this rather lovely ward here, which you can't really see very well. I'm in player perspective, so you can't see very well. This ward, as you can see on the minimap, provides a great amount of vision, especially in this area of the jungle. This is extremely important for defending yourself in the lane. As you can see, anyone attempting to approach the lane from this sort of angle, either coming from the bottom, coming from the middle, or coming from the top where the river is. As you can see here, I took cogs at level 1, and I did what is known as a cog block, which is where I caught the creeps in it. There's this lovely little area in the dire off lane where you can hide the creeps away. What this allows you to do is it allows the creeps to be delayed in arriving to the lane, and it means that the lane will push towards your tower early on, giving you relative safety. Now what is surprising, and it took me a little while to realise, is that I'm actually against a solo Tiny, which is great for me. I should actually end up dominating this lane. I've brought tons of regen. The Tiny, I can't actually click, from what I remember, didn't bring very much regen with him at all. So to start off with, I don't really do too much. Me and Tiny are kind of faffing about a bit with the creeps, and it's then I realise that actually I'm solo with this Tiny and I should probably start harassing him. With the cogs, I can burn his mana. He's like in my set. I can burn his mana away, and Tiny has few spells but at a very, very high mana cost and a low mana pool. So by constantly burning his mana, I am in complete safety, knowing that he won't be able to pull off any sort of combo on me. So it's just laning stage, mass hit creeps, the old DotA thing. Again, put the cogs in the way. Tiny can't come anywhere near the creeps, otherwise he's just getting burnt. Second level, as you saw, went into Rocket Flare. This allows you to scout into the jungle next to you. That was my delayed response to the nice set. And also allows you to secure last hits if you're not going to get there in time. Again, burning the Tiny. You see I check his mana, he doesn't have enough mana for any spells, so I start hitting him a couple of times. My third point went into Battery Assault, as you see here, and this is your main offensive ability, and this is the skill that I will be taking at levels 5 and 7, because this is what provides you with your highest amount of damage per second. Again, trading hits with the Tiny. He didn't bring much regen to the lane, and I'm quite confident that I'll be able to take him on. As you can see, he's too scared to come in. I just keep moving around at the front, and now you see why this ward is so good. I cancel his clarity with my rocket, pop the cogs, and I scare him off. Wasting the time of their jungler is a really good thing. I tried to farm up a couple of his Eidolons, but they then run out. The Enigma's left, I can see that by my ward, and I immediately jump back into the lane with a high amount of confidence and aggression. I popped my clarity to get my mana back up as I was only on about a quarter of mana. The Tiny sees this and cancels my clarity, which is rather annoying for me, but good work by him. Since my clarity got cancelled, I am being a lot more protective with using my spells. There's no use throwing a level 1 rocket flare at him over and over again because it won't really do very much. If I can get a cogs on him, that will be good. As you can see, I've now got level 3 battery assault, which there's the mana burn again. This pretty much gives me the opportunity to get a solo kill on whoever I want at the moment. The Tiny is pretty easy, and also the Enigma, if he comes back in again, I should be able to kill. However, I don't want to put myself in a position where I'm too close to his tower, and he can then stun me if he has the mana for it. As you can see, I bought boots from the side shop, and I bought a bottle from the base, which I'll show ferry out soon with the courier. Brown boots is always good on Clockwerk because it allows you to chase people like that. There's no way he's getting away from me, and I can mana burn him. And the bottle allows you to have a large amount of health regen and mana regen, and is really useful for Clockwerk throughout the entire game, really. Again, I'm dominating this lane. Tiny's got no health regen, I've got lots of mana, he's got no mana. I then ran back up, that ward again saving me. Templar Assassin comes in to gank me, I see it from a mile off, and I'm completely fine. As you can see, Clockwerk just said thanks. That's because in the chat I just said to my teammates, thank you very much for giving me that ward, and the Necro in mid also said that the Templar Assassin was missing.
Middle tower is under attack.
Again, I'm wasting time of their team. Their Templar Assassin has come down trying to find a kill and is not farming in that time. I too am not farming, however it's a lot better to waste their time than it is me wasting time. Tiny's now got some more confidence, and I've just hit level 6, so I'm looking for a chance to use my ultimate, the hook shot, on him. This is me checking the range, so I know that I should be able to get him. I miss and hit the creep, because I'm a real pro. I then miss the cogs, and I then think, bollocks, and run away. And here's where the bottle comes in. I can now run down to this rune. It's nearly 6 minutes, perfect timing. The rune's just about to spawn, and I'm going to fill my bottle up. I wanted that range creep before I died with the flare, but I missed it in the end. In terms of what I could have done to be a bit better, I could have been a bit more aggressive on the Tiny. Chances are I probably should have killed him already by now. Quite a lot of my cogs I used too early and thus pushed him away rather than trapped him inside. I picked up the teleport scroll as now my ultimate's coming off cooldown, and I should be able to quickly jump into a lane if that requires me to. Tiny's gone missing as well, which is another thing to note, and he's just gone mid. The Enigma's come out of his jungle. We harass him down a bit and tell him he's boss. Chase him away, chase him away, chase him away. He's not running away, so I decide I'm going to kill you. That's how to get first blood. Now the Eidolons are being a bit of a pain and I'm trying to run away. I'm using my bottle in between their attacks since they're all attacking at once, and that's what enabled me to survive there. If all the Eidolons were attacking at once rather than in intervals, and so therefore in between their attacks I could use my bottle to heal up and not have it cancelled. I'm looking over here to watch my teammates. I'm looking at if any of the enemies are low enough that I could just immediately TP to the top tier 1 tower here and assist them if required. I bought phase boots on Clockwerk. This is my go-to boots on the hero. It gives you more right click damage, which allows you to kill people faster when they're stuck in your cogs. and also allows you to use the phase ability, which gives you more movement speed and allows you to move through creeps rather than getting blocked by them. This is good for chasing people down because creeps normally get in the way of your hook, and being able to run through them allows you to get to your target quicker if they are running away from you.
I shall repay in time.
Easy kill there. Venomancer was going for the rune with no health, and I decided to use my hook shot to guarantee the kill rather than chase after him on foot.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
It's probably a bit overkill with popping the battery assault, but it's a short cooldown and I had a full bottle anyway, so it was worth it to guarantee the kill. I'm sending my illusions into the enemy jungle so I can, well, my initial thought was to scout for the Enigma, but I didn't realise he was on bottom at the time. Using the illusions, I block one of the camps and put another one in a position which scouts a large area of the jungle. I realise they're using some aggression on me, so I'll pop the cogs in an awkward place, such as these tree lines here, such that they would not be convinced to chase me further. My team's showing up and are playing really aggressive, so I decided to throw in a flare to help with that aggression, pushing the other team away. Yeah, Spirits just put another ward down in exactly the same position as before. That's probably the best location for a ward if you are on the Dire off lane. Luckily for me, they didn't deward it at any stage or had any inclination to deward it at any point. Again, I should have lost the aggro from the tower by trying to attack one of my own creeps. I didn't end up going too well. That was a really late cogs. I probably should have done that a lot earlier to burn his mana. Well, my team decides to leave and I think, oh shit, I need to get my own TP. I leave as well. I think, where can I go to help get a kill? So I see that Phantom Lancer running away in the middle lane. Well, in the middle lane towards the top river. Throw a flare, hit him,
Dire's top tower has fallen.
and he manages to dodge it. Well, dodge the axe anyway. Now then, I've got enough mana for the rocket flare, and I am tracking him with my eyes. As you can see here, I'm trying to track him as he's moving around, and I attempt to get a snipe off with my rocket since it has global range. Sure enough, I do. That's a move that mainly comes with practice. Yeah, that's my younger brother there. Yeah, that's a move that mainly comes with practice. Getting used to how fast the rocket travels and also how fast heroes generally move. It's hard to remember how fast heroes move specifically, but everyone moves with roughly, they're about the same speed with boots anyway, so you can eventually learn to guess where people are going to be if they are moving in straight lines.
Dire's
It allows you to get snipes like that. Again, bottom lane is getting pressured by this Tiny and Enigma, so I come down to show some aggression. I consider the hook shot, then realise none of my team is actually following me, so I then turn around and come back. By this point I've racked up 1,400 gold, and I decide, what should I buy? I think this is going well so far, so I'll go for my usual build of rushing an Aghanim Scepter if the game is going well. Whenever I'm not actually in a lane, it's best to throw the rocket flare out when possible. It keeps the lanes pushed and also allows you to get last hits while you're moving from one lane to another.
Dire's middle tower is under attack. Dire's structures are fortified.
So our team is going on as Tiny. I have hook shot, and well, he ends up giving up and dying anyway. So now I'm going to try and save my teammates by coming in with the hook shot. I am watching the range of my hook shot, so I know when it's possible. Missed the hook again. And rather unlucky because the TA ends up having a haste rune and she gets away. I'm again looking to keep chasing. I want to see if she stuck around behind this tower, or if she ran back to base or not. Here's another opportunity for a solo kill.
Not the strongest enemy I've grappled with.
By this point I'm thinking 14-minute rune, but I'm very early for it. At this point I probably should be throwing a rocket somewhere into their jungle to scout. This position of standing right here is actually really good for getting a rune, because the other team cannot actually see you if they're standing over here. This is great for hiding, to then walk out when the rune spawns and grab it. It's an especially good position at the beginning of any game really, if you're on the dire side. At this point I'm getting surrounded on all sides, and if I remember right I die. So I then pop the cogs, I burn the tiny twice, 3 times actually, which probably gets rid of all of his mana. My team's actually losing this fight quite bad, and it was me that was the one that was caught out that time. So I probably should have been looking behind me as well as in front of me, as I didn't see the Phantom Lancer coming up behind me. Not too much I can do while dead, but I'm just about to respawn. I will decide I want to kill this Enigma. At least, that's what I think I did. I came down here, noticed all the trees were actually cut down, so I then decided to move backwards and hide behind this tree. I see the Eidolons come out and think, he must be there. I decide I've waited too long, I don't want to waste too much time standing still. And so I come out to try and clear these creeps. And again, the Eidolons die right as I'm about to finish them off. It's going horribly wrong, and I was a bit late to realise this. I spent too much time on bottom. I probably should have had a TP scroll on me. When I was at base before, I probably should have bought 2 rather than 1. That's another thing to note as well, is something that I'm looking to improve on as well. When you respawn after dying, if you can buy 2 TP scrolls, that's probably the best thing you can do. Because that then leaves you with 1 TP scroll always in your inventory. Which would have helped, especially in that situation right then. You can't be too safe, so I'm standing way far back, especially out of their vision range. So unless they have any wards, they can't see me right now. I think we're going in. No one's actually there. Someone cancelled their TP, if I remember right. And now I'm quite screwed, so that was a really bad engagement from me, and I probably should have spoke to the team beforehand. Luckily for us, we do actually have a Void that's finally come out top lane.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
However, while this is all going on, our axe has actually been taking the bottom lane. What am I doing? Which is actually really good. We were fighting a lost fight in the first place, so the axe did a good job of deciding it was a lost fight and taking the tier 1 bottom. At this point I changed my build up. I decided the Aghanim Scepter is not the way to go, because now we're actually in quite a bit of trouble, so I decided to go for the Blade Mail. Especially against a hero like Tiny and the Venomancer. Blade Mail is really good. Just realising how many of these hooks I'm actually missing.
I foresaw your death the moment you were born.
Phase boots, again, really good for catching up to people.
Homing in.
You have to be really careful with doing what I did, because if I didn't actually get that kill with the cogs, I probably would have saved him rather than killed him. So I ended up blocking my own axe.
Do it with
I again go for the snipe with the rocket, end up missing, but he dies anyway.
boom. There it goes.
Again, throwing rockets to the bottom lane. That lane's been pushed in, and by throwing my rocket out there, I get a couple random last hits, which is good income and money. And it also helps protect our tier 2 towers. I'm spending a lot of time too far back here. I'm in a position where a lot of my team's actually in the way of my hook. It's getting a bit better now. Again, rocket to bottom lane. Checking the 18-minute rune to see if it was still there, in case no one had ever bothered to pick it up. Team fight goes off when I'm not even there. I attempt another snipe with the rocket, miss again.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Now at this point I realise that the Phantom Lancer's got a diffusal blade and I have no mana left as a result, so I end up dying.
Radiant's top tower is under attack. Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Now, and this probably wasn't the best build either. Having the point booster and then changing build is not ideal, because by now I probably would have finished the full blade mail if I decided to go for it first. And that would have helped a hell of a lot in that fight. So yeah, being forced to change builds isn't ideal. I realise the game is going to enter a fairly stale stage.
Incoming.
Everyone's just had a big team fight, quite a lot of ultimates going to be on cooldown. And also I noticed that there's no one on the map. So I'll farm a little bit, but make sure to keep quite far back.
Boom. There it goes.
Again, throwing in the rocket flare just to be annoying. It's one of the perks about being a Clockwerk player, is you get to be really annoying, especially with the cogs. Again, the Enigma Eidolons coming in to try and harass me.
Do it with flair.
Radiant's top tower is under attack. Radiant's top tower has fallen.
I don't actually realise we're fighting on top. I have no way of getting there. I have no TPs or anything, so I can't actually help my team, so I decide there's nothing I can do to help. Phantom Lancer's left, so best I can do now is just keep pushing. I realised my mistake of not carrying a TP before, so I picked one up.
Boom. There it goes.
Our team ends up winning the fight top anyway. And I decided that this lane is getting too close to our tower for comfort. I have a little look around to make sure that no one's there,
Flares
and I
here.
decide to farm it up. Missed that last hit, probably shouldn't have.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Incoming.
4 of my team are on top lane currently, and they've only got 2 people up, so chances are I'm not going to be required and there's going to be no major engagement. So the best thing for me to do right now is to take this middle tier 1 tower.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Make sure to get the last hit on the tower, which gives you more money. Realise team is now in trouble, so I come to help.
Top tower is under attack.
I tell the Void to give me the rune.
And it's off.
Use the rocket to scout the area where the enemy just was. Make sure that if they're still there or not. They could still potentially be chasing us. Again, no vision on this area of the map.
Bombing in.
Throw the rocket out, especially over camps like I did here. Threw the rocket over that camp, threw the rocket over that camp. So it also checks if the enemy team is using your jungle. Doesn't matter if you hit anything with the actual rocket when it explodes. The vision is the best thing in that scenario. Notice on a lack of vision. I don't complain to the supports about not buying wards. I buy wards myself.
Rock it on.
And again, it's entering a fairly stale point of the game. Everyone's farming up. Axe is in our ancients, Void is on top lane, so I'm throwing my rocket to bottom lane to harass the Phantom Lancer and slow down his pushing. Now I've used my invisibility rune. It was going to run out anyway, if I remember right, in about 30 seconds, so I decided to come and see if I can get a kill with it at least. I tried to use the hook shot to cancel him doing exactly what he just did there, but I threw it too late. I should have used it at the very beginning to keep him stunned for, what is it, 2 seconds? 1.5 seconds. That would have allowed me 1.5 seconds of the battery assault and the rocket flare to finish him off before he escaped. Venomancer uses ult, I immediately pop Blade Mail. Absolutely amazing against Venomancer. I pop the cogs to stop people chasing me so I can keep running down this Venomancer, however, it's too much, and the Enigma has a Blink Dagger too, which isn't very good.
Radiant structures are fortified.
Luckily for us, our Void has some sense, in that he is split pushing away, and is actually taking objectives rather than kills. So in a way, space created. He time walked away because I was yelling at him at the time that he was too far forwards with no backup.
Tower is under attack. Dire's structures are fortified.
Right, I've respawned, pick up 1 TP scroll, should have picked up 2, as I've said before. That's one thing I'm certainly taking a note of from doing this video, is pick up 2 TP scrolls when you can. I'm now left with no TP scroll. And no way of obtaining one without going back to base, or using the courier when it's not ideal. Finally a good hook shot. Void doesn't chrono when he probably should have. It's a bit late. I get blocked by the Necro, which doesn't help. So I knew I was dead anyway, threw out the rocket. Any bit of damage helps before you die.
You become feast for the sweet sex.
And Necro actually ends up doing a pretty good job. Not entirely sure where Axe was in that fight though. I've just realised that was left on. So again, stale point. At this point, I'm thinking of finishing the Ags.
Rock it on.
Use the rocket, throw it at their base, it gives you vision down the entire mid lane. I'm currently deciding where to TP. Can't decide. Did waste quite a lot of time setting base then. Throw another rocket.
Here.
Should have used the rocket a lot earlier then. Or maybe even thrown it at their tier 2 tower. Seeing how many teleports are actually coming there, I probably should have thrown the rocket at their tier 2 tower, so we would have seen this coming. Get 2 people with the hook. Get a kill on the Venomancer. Burn all the illusions from the Phantom Lancer, which is really good. It helps clear them off straight away. I try and save this axe by the stuns, however it didn't help, and to be honest I did body block him a bit there, which didn't help either. I decided I'm going to die anyway, so I Blade Mail, try and Duke, really bad Duke. I know I'm going to die anyway, but I'm trying to waste as much time as possible. Face this Void on top lane, split pushing. Space created, you could say, however, that wasn't ideal and I did end up body blocking and thus probably killing the axe.
Radiant's bottom tower.
I decided that I've got some money, I should probably spend it. Oak Club is useful on Clockwerk, gives it more damage, more health. Health is what you need as Clockwerk, really. And to be honest, I'm not really thinking about buybacks that much. Getting that axe is my top priority right now. By now, the shield is actually quite useless. Doesn't really do too much in the mid to late game.
With flair.
So I sell that in order to use my TPs. The Ogre Club is going to provide much more value than carrying around that shield.
Incoming. To kill everyone.
Now I need to be careful here with
Flares here.
scouting with my rocket. Missed my hook again. And now I need to somehow find my way up there.
Boom. There it goes. I tested your metal.
Get a double kill there. One was with the rocket earlier on. I killed the Phantom Lancer right here. The second kill was just convenient with my battery assault getting the kill while they were fighting against that axe.
Rocket on.
Bottom lane's pushing in again. Make sure you keep the rockets going there.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack. Radiant structures are fortified.
And it's off.
Bottom lane again. Keep the rockets going every time it's off cooldown.
Radiant's middle tower has fallen.
I should probably be moving to the side a bit more than I am right now to get for an angle for a hook. Right.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
I come around to the side so I don't get any of them with my hook. I use the cogs instead to try and get her out of her invisibility.
Radiant's middle tower has fallen.
I was really lucky with that in that I believe my battery assault actually cancelled the black hole.
Radiant's middle barracks are under attack. Radiant's middle barracks has fallen.
Exactly. And the usual flaming starts. I now realise that I'm completely out of mana. And I then realise I also have 3,000 gold. So I finished my Aghanim Scepter. Debating whether to stay, however, no mana. It's probably best to head back. And more flaming. Yeah, the problem is I should have killed you more often than I did. I'm now looking for my next item, in which I think I decide I should go for a Shiva's Guard. This is really useful because I don't think any of them have really bought any Black King bars. It will allow us to kite the Tiny very well.
Rock it on. Regeneration.
I'm unfortunate in that I got craggied. However, I believe the hook shot was a good one and managed to single out the Tiny. There's the Aghanim Scepter. I now have a 12-second cooldown on my ultimate. Use that again to stun him. Kill steal again with my battery assault. Really delayed cogs. That was because I had that queued up. While I was stuck in the chronosphere. Bit of a pause then. I believe I was debating whether to buy the plate mail component of the shop. I was debating whether to buy the plate mail component of the Shiva's Guard.
Radiant's bottom tower has fallen.
Again, try and keep away from the rest of the team. Keep that line of sight towards the for the hook shot. Now this is a really bad hook shot. Do not ever do this. I was really lucky in that my team responded. Luckily we were far enough ahead, however that hook shot was, and I admit, horrific, and I shouldn't have gone for it. That was way too deep. I'm making sure to stay away because I'm really low on health. Trying to save the Necro by cogging the Phantom Lancer away. I hear the chrono, threw a rocket in. Any damage helps.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Now here's where having a TP would be really useful right now, because I could just go back to base.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack. Radiant's bottom barracks.
This is probably where I'm going to die now.
Radiant's bottom barracks are under attack. Radiant's bottom barracks has fallen.
Deny. Thank you.
Like years in the rain.
Radiant's top tower is under attack. Radiant's middle tower has fallen.
We've pretty much secured the game now. And I buy that blade mail.
Radiant structures are fortified.
I think I then go for boosted travel. Oh no, the game's probably over before that, but when I respawn I probably would have sold my phase boots and then bought boosted travel.
Radiant's ancient is under attack. Radiant's ancient is under attack. Radiant's ancient is down.
So yeah, that was the game. I probably should have dominated my lane a lot more than I did. Had a couple of bad hook shots to be honest. But I think it's lesson learned, especially with the buying 2 TPs when in base. I hope you enjoyed this video. Not too sure if anyone wants to watch this sort of thing. But yeah, if you liked it, let me know. If there's anything you think you could improve, let me know. This was my first time doing any sort of commentary along with the game, and to be honest, more educational commentary rather than the old play-by-play commentary, which I will be looking at sometime in the future, some play-by-play proper commentary. But that's only after I've got my confidence up a little bit more, I think. Get used to the setup of recording videos a bit more. But yeah, thank you for watching, and I'll see you later.